Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday, October 28th, 2020, and we have a cloudy day here in East Central Pennsylvania. I hope that everybody's having a great hump day today. We're halfway through the week, and I just wanted to spend a little bit of time talking to you today about why should we vote blue. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about it, but I pulled up the Republicans' convention platform from 2016, which really is how Donald Trump got elected. And I just wanted to cover a few points on it, and what they believe in, and why I believe, and I believe a lot of my friends, should be voting blue, okay? Vote for Democrats, okay? Now, one of the things that they mentioned was that the Constitution, now this is taken right out of their platform, the Constitution of the United States is not flexible, but as our enduring covenant. So my personal views on that is, yes, it is a covenant, but we don't live in the same time frame as when the Constitution was written. So I believe that there should be flexibility. As time progresses, issues change. I mean, back then, we didn't have Social Security. Today we do. So we want to make sure it's protected. Okay? Another big thing that the Republicans push is we want peace through strength. If we're strong enough, nobody's going to want to pick on us. I don't know how true that is today, because we do have another power across the pond, so to speak, and that's China. And they're pretty big too. And if they wanted to, I'm sure that they could cause a lot of problems. Now, we're better, I should say we're more powerful than they are, but really when you think about it in the long term, if a nuclear war would break out, nobody wins. Nobody. So we should try to get along with them, but at the same time, make sure that things are fair as well. So they're willing to be they're willing to be friends, is what I meant to say, but they will deal with evil in the world. So, whatever that means, you know. There's evil in the world everywhere. We've always had evil, you know. How far are we willing to go, you know, to deal with evil? And I'm afraid that with Donald Trump, he sometimes makes decisions that are not really logical. He doesn't think. I think he's reactionary. Okay? And unfortunately, it's to the extreme. And another thing that they point out in the platform, they said people are ultimate resources. And people are best stewards of our country's God-given natural resources. Now, I found that to be interesting. God-given natural resources. Now, they always bring God into the picture. And I look at it this way. Our country is a free nation, and you're free to believe or not believe. That's totally up to you, and that should be always our right. Okay? But don't force your religion on everybody else. Okay? Don't force it. And my fault with the Republican Party is that they've been hijacked. I'll always say this, but it's true. They've been hijacked by the religious right. And the religious right is a small minority, but they have money. They have the ability to raise a lot of money, and they just simply say, hey, vote our way or you don't get our vote. Do what we want you to do or you don't get our vote. That should never be. Religion and politics should be kept separate. But they don't always do that. I get a kick out of what they say too here too. They said they accused President Obama and the Democratic Party of abandoning their promises of being accountable to American people. Really? Really? And look who they have in office today. Can you honestly say that President Trump, and I like to call him President because that's what he is, you mean to tell me he's accountable to the American people? Oh, show us your taxes, Mr. President. Oh, they're under audit. Now, he's been in office how long now? Almost 4 years? Give me a break. So that's hypocrisy right there. Okay? Another thing is the Republican platform accused Obama and the Democratic Party of dismantling the healthcare system and replacing it with a costly and complicated scheme that limits choices and takes away our freedoms. Gee, I don't see where our freedoms are taken away. I do say that we were covered under a health insurance plan. I personally believe that they should have worked on it to bring the premiums down more, and I really believe that when Joe Biden becomes elected president, and I feel confident that he will be, that he'll work on that aspect. I think that the Affordable Health Care Act should be revamped to some point, but not just stripped and leave over 20 million people on their butts with no coverage. So they have to work on that, and that will be, I'm sure, one of the priorities that Joe Biden will work on, and the Democrats when they're re-elected, or elected November 3rd. So another thing that the Republicans like to harp on is the energy now in their platform. This is all in their platform now. Okay? They said they affected the production of American energy and the industry. Related jobs that have sustained families and communities. Well, I guess the energy industry that they're talking about is coal, natural gas, fracking, things of that nature. And the world is changing. And besides, we don't have an ever-ending supply of coal and oil. And let's face it, it's a dirty, dirty fuel. I know years ago, growing up, that's what this area was known for, was coal. We used to have, they used to call it a heatrola, like a big stove. I'll never forget the one we had. It was like a big brown stove, and of course you had a pipe that took the smoke and out to the outside through your ceiling. But it used to heat the place up really nice, but, hey, it's dirty stuff, dirty coal. And you had to make sure everything was kept clean because you could get carbon monoxide and you could be asleep and you'll never know, you never wake up. So it's really not always that safe unless you keep up with things, but still. The world has changed, We have to start looking for other forms of energy. Solar and wind are two of the types of energy that come to mind that I can recall. But the Republican platform accused President Obama and the Democrats of regulating to death. Now, this is a direct quote. Regulating to death a free market economy that Obama doesn't like or understand. Really? They didn't really elaborate too much on that. If regulation is there, it's meant for a purpose. And that's for the safety of the workers. I remember, back in, let's see, I guess it was 1983, I was hired at a local textile mill. And, of course, we used a lot of chemicals to bleach, dye fabric. And there had to be regulations. There had to be certain machinery you ran. It was very loud. You had to wear ear protection. You had to wear a mask to keep the lint from the fabric from getting into your nostrils. There's a purpose for regulations. It's not put there to just be, well, we don't want you to succeed. I remember the owner of the mill complained to me the one time. We had a machine called a napper, which picks up the loops on fabric to make it fuzzy. And he complained to me the one time. He picked me up to take me to work, and he goes, yeah, he said, it's not right, man. It's going to cost me $9,000 to put all this stuff in place to reduce the noise in the napper room. And I'm thinking to myself, $9,000 to you is a drop in the bucket. It's like a penny to me. So there's a reason for regulations. If you want healthy employees that don't lose their hearing or don't get breathing problems, that's what they're there for. So, another thing that they brought up in the trade agreements, or the Republican Party, was the trade agreements. They said we need better negotiated trade agreements that put America first. Now, really, is that fair? I don't know. Some people think it is, but I can't. To me, let's face it, it's a global economy, okay? I didn't want to face the fact years ago when we started losing customers. I used to work in the bleach and dye plant. And textiles were slowly going away. They passed NAFTA, which I wasn't crazy about. But other countries were able to make products cheaper. You know, we don't like that. Well, Trump revised that now. I don't know all of the specifics of the new NAFTA agreement, but they're saying we want America first, but let's negotiate things fairly. I don't know. To me, it just seems strange that we should be, I'll keep America first, but negotiate things evenly. I don't know. If one country has an advantage over another country, I don't think that's fair. Now, we can negotiate things so that things are equal, but to have one person sit there and say, that represents our country. Well, we have to be first. In other words, we have to get something out of the deal. Oh, what about the other countries? They want something out of the deal too. Should they all be first too? I don't agree with the Republicans on that. I think it should be all a fair situation. We should all benefit each other. That's what's important. Okay? And the final thing that I wanted to touch on, like I said, if you get time, you can look up the Republican Party platform 2016 online and read the other stuff that they go into detail on. But this is one of my pet peeves, and that's religious liberty. Okay, now they say, and I have it written down here, it says, religious liberty is the first liberty to be protected. It's often used by religious right to discriminate against the LGBTQ community and to discriminate against the same-sex couple. They say it's the first liberty to be protected. I don't know about being the first, but anyway. It kills me to hear them say, oh, we have our right to religious liberty. Well, guess what, people? Nobody's keeping you from going inside a church. Nobody. You want to go and worship on a Sunday morning or If you're a Seventh-day Adventist and you believe Saturday is the Sabbath that you need to worship, that's your right. You can do that. Okay? But there's a sinister idea behind religious liberty. And in a nutshell, it's the ability to discriminate. They want the right to discriminate against people who don't line up with their view of who God is or what marriage is. They want to tell you who you can sleep with. They can tell you, or they want to tell you, how you should live your life. And that's nonsense. That's bull. I went to a church years ago that did that. And I got out of it quick. I'm so glad I did. So, basically, in a nutshell, that's why should you vote blue? Well, I personally believe that the Democratic Party is the party of the people. Okay? The Republican Party, for the most part, is for the top 1%, the top business people, that they don't want to pay any more taxes than what they have to. And if they don't have to pay taxes at all, they won't. Donald Trump's a perfect example for that. So, yeah, the Democratic Party, my mom used to say it, and after all these years, I tend to agree with her. They're the party of the people. They're concerned about you. They're concerned that you have a job. They're concerned that you have a living wage, not working for $7.25 an hour. I had to do that, I guess it was back in 2014, because the knitting mill I worked for, let's face it, textiles, they mostly went overseas. And they closed down. Well, I had to work somewhere, and the only place I could work was a warehouse. So $7.25 an hour to bust your butt. I got out of that fast. So, yeah, we need a living wage, and they're saying $15 an hour would do it, Times are changing, A lot of your companies, we can't afford that. Well, maybe you need to count the cost before you go into business. Times are changing. You think your bills are getting bigger, so is everybody else's bill. Pay them a decent living wage already. So anyway, I think we have about 6 more days to go until Election Day is here. So I want to end this by saying, this is your chance. This is the power that the people have, and that's to go out and vote. And do it as soon as possible, okay? I'm not sure about what the deadlines are for your particular state. Probably a lot of it, probably the deadline has come and gone. If you have to run your ballot, first of all, make sure you fill your ballot out right. And then take it either right to the Election Bureau or put it in a drop box that's legal, of course. And get that ballot filled, fill it in correctly. They tell you a lot of times to fill in the oval completely, use a blue or black ink, whatever. Mine was a black ink. So just read the instructions before you vote, carefully and thoroughly, and then follow directions. If you have a secret ballot, you put the ballot inside the secret envelope, and then you put that envelope in the bigger return envelope that's provided, and run it right up to your election bureau. That's what I did with mine. I voted about 2 weeks ago. So now it's just time to encourage everybody to go out and vote blue all the way through. We need to get Joe Biden and Kamala Harris into office. And also your local officials. Don't forget them. Get your mayors or whoever is running. Council people. People running for the House of Representatives. If you live in Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania, Gary Wegman, get him into office. We need him in the House of Representatives. So go out and vote, because the time is running out. This is your chance to vote and use your power. Speak out against this tyranny that we're going through with Donald Trump. Okay, well, I'm running out of time here, so thanks for taking the time to listen. Remember, if you have friends, take them to vote. If they don't have a place, any way of transportation, get them together, take them to the polls with you, and vote. Next Tuesday, November 3rd, is our time to speak out and send this idiot out of the White House once and for all. Okay, have a great day, have a good rest of the week, and I'll be talking to you soon. Okay, take care.